Hey guys, and welcome back to another Procreate edit with me. A lot of you guys were asking, when is your next Procreate edit with me video gonna be coming? And honestly, I've been kind of off my editing game in general, so this was good. It got me back into the Instagram grind. At this point in the process, I've already uploaded the photo onto my iPad, edited it on PicMonkey to put the background with the picture I wanted, and the first thing I did, I actually started with my character this time. I went in with a dark base, and I like to use the shade Cotton Candy. I guess it's not a shade, but I like to use the brush Cotton Candy from SOUTHLIGht's hair brush pack. Best hair brush pack I've ever used. And then I went in with a little bit of a lighter color and I used a different brush, which I can't remember right now, but you saw it. And as you can see, I'm going for Granny Rose vibes. I went with a gray hair look. This is the new hairstyle that I bought at the Moorland hairstylist. A whole 8,000 shillings for this hair. So now I can be Granny Rose all day, every day, you know? And I went in with the lightest color I'm going to be doing for this hair. And on the top layer, I like to add some details to give some dimension to the hair, just to like, I don't know, make it look like the wind is blowing through the hair, make it look like the hair isn't all just like one direction, because in real life hair does its own thing, you know? Then I created a new layer and I went in with this glowy brush from SOUTHLIGht's brush pack, and through some trial and error I added some highlights. This is one of my favorite highlight brushes for hair because it gives like a realistic glow most of the time for most of the colors I use, especially for like blondes and whites. It's really good for those. And I added a bunch of those little sparkly wisps in my hair, and it's like literally one of my favorite brushes from SOUTHLIGht. It has like these beautiful like brushes. And then I created another layer and I went in to do the eyes. I just lightened them up a little bit, made them a little more blue, and used this glossy brush to kind of highlight it a little bit. And then I added some different colors into the eyes just to kind of go with the background. I don't know, I added some reds and oranges. It just felt right. Anyways, then I did my eyebrows to match my granny hair and gave myself some eyelashes, and honestly at this point my character is already looking 7 times better than we started. And then I decided to add color to the lips, kind of go with the background. It was like red and it needed some pop of color on the face so I didn't look washed out, even though I think my character looks super cute by itself. Anyways, so I added this cute like orangey pinky coral color, and then I attempted to make some freckles on my face. My character's makeup already has those tiny freckles, but I felt like they didn't stand out as much as I wanted them to in the photo. But then I hated the freckles I did. They looked horrible. Then I started it on my horse. Honestly, this was a bit of a challenge because when I took the picture for this horse and character, I wasn't even planning on making a Procreate edit. I just was standing in Veldel and I was like, wait, my outfit's really cute, I should just take a picture. And then I ended up taking this picture and it was like, okay, guess I'm editing it. Usually when I'm editing horses, it means I try to put them in braids, but this horse was a challenge because I had to cover the previous mane and make it look cute. And yeah, the forelock actually turned out okay. I did adjust it a little bit later, as you'll see, but the mane was really hard. It just looked bad like 5 times and I changed it, but that's called art. It's the process, you know? The beautiful thing about editing on an iPad is that I can erase and start over. And that's why I always work in layers, because sometimes I'll do a layer and be like, that's super ugly, and then I delete it. Anyways, then I went in with some highlights on top of the mane once I got the shape I wanted. And don't worry, I'm about to erase that ugly mane that you see right there. Don't worry. But the forelock is probably gonna stay, I think. it mostly stays. Also, one of my favorite things about this Mustang that made me want to edit it is how natural its mane looked. So it almost made me sad to like Procreate edit over the mane already in game, because honestly it was already really beautiful. So I wanted to stay true to how the mane had this ombre effect, so I did add some like darker details and tried to blend it down. Here's me starting over on the mane because I thought it was ugly. And don't worry, it's gonna work out. And by the way, if you're wondering, I am editing this in Procreate and I'm editing on my iPad Pro. I'll put the details in the description box if I remember, and I'll try and link the brush packs that I use, ones that are still available. So then I came up with a brilliant new idea. I wanted it to look like some of the hair on the horse's mane was draped over to the other side that we can't really see, and then I wanted to put a braid coming down the other way because I don't know, this horse is Mustang, it's very Western, and I thought it'd be cool to have like a wild braid sort of thing situation going on. Honestly, explaining art is embarrassing and painful for me, so forget I ever said that. Oh yeah, and I also wanted to put the ombre effect into the mane too. And then I wanted to erase the part of the forelock that was covering the horse's eye, so I did that. And then here's me trying to find a braid that I liked from the brush pack I was using. I think I was using Ruby Disco Cloud's old braids brush pack. I don't know if it's still available anymore. Finally, I found a braid that I kind of liked, so I went with it. I usually put the braid in a darker base so that I can paint over it with lighter shades and give it like highlights and stuff like that. And I also added some hair on the other side of the horse's mane to continue with the hair that's over the top of its neck. Then I went in and added lighter hair pieces on top of the braid to give it dimension. And I added some crusty hair at the bottom, which honestly to this day still doesn't look great, but I'm really bad at drawing the hair that comes out of a braid. Like, that is my weakness. How do you draw hair that comes out of a braid? Please explain to me. And while I was editing the braid or adding details onto it, I was like kind of torn because I didn't really know how to make it an ombre effect on a braid because I'm just not that skilled, honestly. So I decided to go in and just highlight the bottom part first because I knew that was the part that was going to be light. And then I thought I'll just do the whole braid and highlight the whole thing. And then I'll go in and put some darker layers over the top ones. Does this even make sense? I just wanted to create an ombre effect. I'm not even gonna lie. I mean, I know this is my own art, but I'm really happy with how the forelock turned out on this one. Like, I was pretty proud of that one. It's fun and it's different from any of the forelocks that I've done, I feel like, before. When I did an edit of the Self Francais, I did have one horse that I was like, this forelock is lit. Like, it was like the first time I'd ever done like a straight across forelock, kind of like how the old ETV hairstyle, triangle hair, it kind of looked like that, but I was really proud. It looked really nice. If you go on my Instagram, maybe you'll see what I'm talking about. This one kind of was inspired by that one. I just wanted it to be longer and messier because it's a Mustang. I wanted it to look like fringy. And then for the braid, back to talking about the braid, I did go in back and like underneath all the braid layers, I airbrushed like a dark color underneath to give it more depth. And then I went and added some like wispy hair pieces, some sparkly hair pieces, and then I added highlights using the same glow brush I used on my character's hair, just with the lighter shade that I used for the main color. And I ended up really liking it how it was. Then I went in for the hair that kind of came over the horse's neck, and I just tried to edit and make sure that my glove wasn't covered by the hair, because that wouldn't make sense. So my hand is in front of the hair, just to make sure like all the pieces that were on top of like the neck and stuff were erased, just cleaning up a little bit. Then I decided to go in and edit my horse's eye. Based on the colors in the photo, I wanted it to have more of a gold color, so it stood out a little more. So I went and highlighted like a yellow goldish color, and then I went in with some browns just to make it not look like an owl or something scary. I don't know. And then I highlighted and added like some white lines like I usually do with the eyes. And then I added eyelashes, and I added one sparkly eyelash because I just thought it looked cool, honestly. I don't have a reason for it. And at this point I was just cleaning up, making sure that like the hair I drew wasn't overlapping on anything it shouldn't be, using my eraser tool. And then I realized that you could see my horse's tail in the photo, so I went and quickly did some work over the tail just to make it not look crusty. So exactly where the tail was in the photo, I just drew in my own tail to match the mane that I drew in the picture using the same colors. And then I erased any hair that got on my glove, and then I had to draw in some of my glove because it was already messed up before I even drew on it. It doesn't look the best, but who's gonna zoom in? You know what I mean? It's fine. I could have blended it, but I just was too lazy. I don't know. Then I went in and I wanted to draw a little neck handkerchief on my character. If you've seen my channel art, I mean like my intro and outro, or no, just my intro has a handkerchief on that character I drew for the intro, or my Instagram too, and I wanted to do a similar thing in this photo just because I felt like it matched the vibe, the Western look. And instead of like little stars like I did on my last one, I wanted to do like a paisley print. So I googled a paisley print and I realized for the first time what it actually is. It's literally just like these weird bacteria looking swirls. I've never looked closely at paisley prints before. Anyways, this is what it is. So it looks like little beans, you know what I mean? Yeah, so anyways, I just drew a little paisley print and freehanded that. It was a real fun time. And I thought, you know, no one's gonna look that close, it'll be fine. Then I spent about 5 minutes trying to get the right sparkles. If you've seen my Instagram, you know I have little sparkles tying all my Instagram pictures together in the background just to like, I don't know, it's like my thing. But it's sometimes really hard in pictures to like make them not like be too much. Like here it's too much. So I actually ended up removing this layer and then trying again and going for like a lighter look so it wasn't as intense, because I feel like it didn't, like intense sparkles didn't really match the vibe of this picture, and there was no sky. So I didn't want it to be like too much. Anyways, then I erased any sparkles that got on my character drawing. There is one sparkle that bothers me that I left in this video, but don't worry, after the video I noticed it and I erased it, so I didn't post that on Instagram, okay? And then I went in to change the bridle because I didn't want it to be shaped like a rectangle. You know, that doesn't happen in nature. So I rounded it out and somewhat skillfully tried to use a blending brush to kind of blend the original bridle back into the background. I don't think anyone would really notice unless you watch me do this and you'd be like, Rose, this is bad.
This is pretty bad.
But nobody, a passerby would not notice. Anyways, that looks a little more natural, and then I wanted to make the top part also a little more natural because for some reason the reins in SSO are rectangles. They don't follow the laws of gravity. Anyways, here's the finished products, all done, ready to post on Instagram. If you've watched this video, that means it's up on my Instagram, so go check out my Instagram. It's at Koko Rosewater. Go give it a like. Anyways, thank you guys for joining me for our Procreate edit with me. Stay tuned for the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.
I'm on thin ice, you'd never guess. I've been hiding a monster, keeping it quiet, I do my best.